A tributary to Buffalo Bayou that comes up on the west side of the Beltway, crosses I-10 near Beltway 8, and water is backing up or spreading north up some of these creeks that go into Buffalo Bayou. And there is some flooding that is occurring along these creeks. Even though you may be well away from the bayou, the water is moving up these creeks, and the creeks are coming out, and in some areas it is getting into the streets, and in some cases some homes. I want to stress that this is a record event along Buffalo Bayou. We are trying our best with the River Forecast Center to forecast as accurately as possible what the rises are going to be. But we are in unprecedented territory, and some of the flows that are happening we've never seen before. So water, as I've kind of mentioned throughout this event, water is going to places that we did not expect it to go. In other cases, it may be going into places that we thought it was going to go to, and it's not going to. So it's a fluid situation along Buffalo Bayou at this time. A lot of this is being controlled by the release rates from the reservoirs, which have stayed constant today. However, there could be fluctuations in the water level as the release rates change. And right now, they're not expected to change too much, but keep that in mind. The water could go up and down along the bayou over the next several days as water levels or as releases change in the bayou. I want to try to give an indication of where we're expecting inundation along Buffalo Bayou, and I'm going to roughly bound it by Memorial Drive to the north, Beltway in the center, and Briar Forest on the south. And I'm overestimating a little bit here, but if you live south of Memorial Drive, north of Briar Forest, west of Beltway 8, there could be impacts. There's going to be impacts east of Beltway 8, bounded by Memorial on the north, although there is some locations there where the water will extend north of Memorial. And then on the south, it's hard to tell here what exactly the streets are, but some of the subdivisions along the south side of the bayou are certainly going to see some inundation. Like I said, this is a changeable situation. We have seen some changes today where we expected the bayou to crest and hold steady. It has continued to slowly rise. We're not really quite sure exactly why that is happening, and we're working with the River Forecast Center to make sure that we're getting all the best data into the forecast models. We do believe that the bayou upstream of West Belt is very near crest right now. It's very near its maximum level that it's going to be. Then we think the majority of the rises will be from Beltway 8 downstream towards Piney Point, and then a little bit further down towards San Felipe. The other thing to mention is the Addicks overflow that is taking place. Some of that water will eventually get down to Rummel Creek also and flow into Buffalo Bayou. And that is expected to happen sometime over the next 24 hours. We need residents to be aware on the west side of Brittmore and the east side of Addicks Dam, in that corridor, that water that is coming out of Addicks Dam is going to be flowing down to the south in the direction of that area tonight. So those areas that are currently dry may begin to see some water rise initially in the streets and possibly getting into some homes. What we have seen today in the overflow area that is occurring on the north side of Addicks is some water is using the street systems to go south, and some water is using the underground drainage systems to be carried either to the south or off to the east into White Oak Bayou. So there is a combination of factors, as we've been discussing, that were going to happen as the water spilled out and it interacted with the landscape there. Any questions? Yes?
This is a little unrelated, but I know that there's been a figure come out that there's been 100,000 homes that have been damaged. Is that just in the Houston area, or is that from like Corpus all the way up here?
Right now, we don't have any hardcore estimates of the number of homes that have been damaged, but that figure would not be surprising to me. And the question was 100,000 homes damaged? There is not a figure currently in place that we've produced, but 100,000 is certainly not out of the question.
We had many people worried about the Ashford area. They were asking if they should evacuate or what to do because they were seeing a lot of water and getting into the homes.
Okay. The question was along Ashford if people should evacuate. Again, we have seen that is a gauge that is operating currently on Buffalo Bayou. The water level is steady at this time, so we're not expecting a significant increase in the water level. One thing we have to understand is when we say the water level's steady, it could still rise a couple inches or fall a couple inches. But right now the water level is steady, so if you do not have water in your house currently around Ashford, you should be okay. Now, if you have water in the street, you could potentially be stuck at that location for an extended period of time. Again, what is happening along Buffalo Bayou is being controlled by the releases out of Addicks Dam. And until those releases are reduced significantly, the flooding will continue along Buffalo Bayou. All good? We will have another more fully briefed news conference this evening at 8 o'clock. Was it 8? Or 7:30, sorry, 7:30.